All right, let's talk about wealth. Not just the idea of having a ton of money, but how people actually win at it. We're going to break down the different players, the strategies they use, and this is the most important part, the rules of the game that everybody, and I mean everybody, is forced to play. You've probably asked yourself this a million times, right? How do people really get rich? Is it all just luck? Is it grinding yourself to the bone? Or is there some kind of secret they're not telling us? Well, the truth is, there are a whole lot of paths. Some people are born into it, some literally stumble into it by accident, and others, well, they grind for decades. So let's meet some of these characters. Okay, first up, the one path you can't really choose, the inheritor. These guys didn't work for it. They didn't risk a single thing. They just got cosmically lucky. It's like winning a lottery you didn't even know you were playing. And then you've got the complete polar opposite on the luck spectrum. This player, right, they throw $100 at some ridiculous joke coin, totally forget about it, and then wake up a month later as a multi-millionaire. It is, no joke, the modern-day lottery ticket. And then there's this player. This is the person who's failed at a dozen different things, who's lived on ramen noodles, working from a crusty laptop in their bedroom. Why? Because for them, the alternative, a safe 40-year desk job, feels worse than actually starving. So they trade all that comfort for the grind. So we've seen a few of the paths, and you can see getting wealthy is almost like picking a character on a video game. Each one has a totally different starting point, a different strategy, and a vastly different speed. Let's really dive into this because it's fascinating. On one side, you've got the slow, predictable path, the tortoise, you could say. It's safe, it's steady, it works. On the other side, you have the rocket ship, just pure, chaotic luck that can literally change your life overnight. Two completely different games leading to two wildly different outcomes. And the variety of players is just huge. You've got the NPC, the person living this super disciplined, bare-bones life just so they can buy their freedom by 40. You've got the gambler, who somehow just bends the laws of probability at a casino. The influencer, who can sell you, cardboard t-shirts and make 10 grand from one video. And then you have the one of one, someone so unbelievably good at what they do, money basically just gravitates toward them. So you can pick your player, you can choose your strategy. But here's the catch. Whether you're an inheritor, a grinder, or a gambler, it does not matter. Because everyone is playing on the exact same board and everyone is subject to the same invisible rules that control how money actually works. And this is where things get really interesting, because understanding these rules, well, that's the difference between you winning the game and the game winning against you. So, what's rule number one? Interest. It's the most basic, fundamental concept there is. And I love this definition. Think of it like this. Money charges rent just to be used. If you're using someone else's money, you're paying the rent. If someone else is using your money, they pay you. It's as simple as that. And this is what makes it so powerful. It has two completely different personalities. When you owe interest, like on a credit card, it's like a fire that you can't put out. That little bit of interest compounds, and it can turn a small mistake into a massive problem. But when you earn it through savings or investments, it becomes your best unpaid employee, working 24/7, making you more money while you sleep. The key thing is, you have to decide which side of that equation you want to be on. So, if interest can be your best employee, how do you basically give it a promotion? Let's talk about the single most powerful concept there is, the secret weapon for pretty much every long-term player in this game. It's called compounding. You start with a little bit of money. That money earns a little bit of interest. But then, and this is the magic part, your interest starts earning its own interest. It's a snowball effect. It starts off super slow, you barely even notice it. But over years, and then decades, it just builds into this unstoppable force. Hey, remember the average Joe from a few minutes ago? This number, this is how he wins his game. It doesn't come from a huge salary or some lucky stock pick. It comes from patiently, for 40 years, just letting his money compound. It's the slow, steady, but incredibly powerful path to wealth. Okay, so beyond interest, there are these other forces working in the background all the time. You can't control them, but you absolutely have to understand them if you want any chance of protecting and growing your money. First up, taxes. The government's got to get its cut from almost every dollar you make, spend, or invest. Second, inflation. Think of it as this silent thief that just makes your saved money worth a little bit less every single year. And finally, recessions. The economy's big, painful reset button, which can wipe out jobs and investments if you're not ready for it. So how in the world do you outrun those forces? By creating massive value. I mean, look at this comparison. Both of these guys are arguably the greatest of all time in their sports. But the market for basketball is gigantic, a global audience, massive TV deals, huge sponsorships. The market for pool, it's just much, much smaller. So wealth isn't just about being the best. It's about being the best at something the world really wants and is willing to pay for at an enormous scale. We've covered the players, the rules, and all these invisible forces. But there is one final asset that is more powerful than any amount of money, any skill, or any luck. It's the one thing that truly decides who wins the game of wealth. That's it. The ultimate cheat code is time. It's the only resource you can't buy more of, you can't get back, and it's the greatest amplifier for all the rules we just talked about, especially compounding. And this just sums it up perfectly. The biggest wins in this game rarely, if ever, come from a single lucky break. They come from patience. They come from giving your investments and your efforts the decades they need to actually grow and multiply. It's all about playing the long game. So whether you're playing as the grinder, the entrepreneur, or you're just hoping for that lucky break, remember this. The game is always running, and that clock, it never, ever stops. So the only real question left is, what are you going to do with the time you have?